We have held that Article 370 is a temporary provision on a reading of the historical context in which it was included. Article 370 was introduced to serve two purposes. First, the transitional purpose to provide for an interim arrangement until the Constituent Assembly of the state was formed and could take a decision on the legislative competence of the Union on matters other than the ones stipulated in the instrument of accession and ratify the Constitution. And second, a temporary purpose, an interim arrangement in view of the special circumstances because of the war conditions in the state. See, we have held that a textual reading of Article 370 also indicates that it is a temporary provision. For this purpose, we have referred to the placement of the provision in Part 21 of the Constitution, which deals with temporary and transitional provisions, the marginal note to the provision, which states temporary provisions in respect to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and a reading of Articles 370 and 1, by which the state became an integral part of India upon the adoption of the Constitution.
In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court of India has upheld the government's decision to carve out Ladakh and designate it as a union territory. However, the court has chosen not to intervene in the status of Jammu and Kashmir as a union territory, as the centre has assured the restoration of statehood at the earliest. The Supreme Court verdict, delivered by a 5-judge constitution bench, has drawn several crucial conclusions. Let's understand them one by one. The court concluded that the state of Jammu and Kashmir does not retain any element of sovereignty. Article 370 is identified as a feature of asymmetric federalism rather than sovereignty. The petitioners did not challenge the presidential proclamation, which played a pivotal role in the abrogation of Article 370. The exercise of President's power after the proclamation is subject to judicial review, ensuring a checks and balances mechanism. The power of Parliament under Article 356, Section 1, to act on behalf of the State Assembly is not restricted to lawmaking powers, providing clarity on the extent of Parliament's authority. The court emphasized that Article 370 is a temporary provision. The power under Article 370, Section 3 did not cease after the Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly ceased to exist. Article 370 cannot be amended by exercising power under Article 370, Section 1D, establishing clear limitations on the modification of this constitutional provision. Meanwhile, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul proposed the establishment of an impartial Truth and Reconciliation Committee for Jammu and Kashmir. This committee would be tasked with investigating and reporting on alleged human rights violations committed by both state and non-state actors in the region, focusing on incidents occurring since the 1980s. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is set to table two bills, the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill and the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Amendment Bill 2023 in the Rajya Sabha on December 12th. The two bills were passed by the Lok Sabha on December 6th. The centre had previously in 2019 revoked the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, dividing the region into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. In response to a slew of petitions challenging the government's move, the Supreme Court, after a 16-day-long hearing, reserved its judgment on September 5th. The petitioners argued that Article 370 could not be unilaterally scrapped by the centre, asserting that the powers of the Constituent Assembly were vested in the Jammu and Kashmir legislature after its dissolution in 1957. This verdict marks a historic moment in the constitutional landscape of India, shaping the future governance and status of the regions in question. The nation now awaits the next steps in the process of restoring statehood of Jammu and Kashmir.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.